What is up, guys? TJ here, and in today's video we are going to be reviewing the PXG 0317 ST milled irons. So let's get right into it. Alright guys, so the PXG 0317 ST milled irons, probably not what you're used to seeing from PXG. Normally what we see from them is sort of that player's distance or pure distance hollow body design. These, on the other hand, are a single piece, 3x forged iron with a milled face and backing. They are available 3 through gap wedge. In your 3 and 4 iron, you will be getting CBs, and then in your 5 through gap wedge, you will be getting MBs. There is no other way to configure this set of irons, other than you can choose whether you want, 5 through pitching wedge, 4 through gap wedge, whatever from that perspective. The irons are also available in 2 different color finishes. You're going to have your extreme dark, which is a black coated finish, and what we got right there. And then you're also going to have your sort of standard brush chrome finish as well. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to take these irons out on the golf course. I'm going to hit some shots. I'm going to give you some feedback. We're going to come back here. I'm going to talk you through the irons just a little bit more, and then I'm going to rate them on a scale of 0 through 10. So by the end of this video, you will know whether these 0317s are worth your time and or money. So let's head out to the golf course and get this thing going. All right, so as we're driving, before I even hit any shots, I honestly just want to take a moment to talk about the look of the 0317s. That extreme dark finish is honestly awesome. It looks super good. And then at address, very minimal offset. As you move into the CBs, there's a little bit more balance of that offset. But from the perspective of looks in your bag, looks at address, they are a really, really good looking set of irons. And some people might disagree, but in my opinion, I really do like the look. Okay, so we're out here at number 2. The first hole I had a wedge in, so did not need to use the irons, but this hole is a 210 yard par 3, pin on the right, and what we're going to try to do is just hit a solid little fade to the middle of the green. Again, looks at address, very nice. Alright, I pulled that. It is a high sort of pull. It's going to miss the green a little bit left. Feel on that shot, very nice. Went through the turf pretty well. Unfortunately, that's just human error right there. So let's go up there, grab that one, and we'll head over to the next hole. Okay, so we've got 231 here, and what I'm going to try to do is hit sort of a hard draw. I don't hit this club 230, my 4 iron, normally, but I'm going to try to kind of just get a lot out of this, and we'll see what happens. All right, so workability's there. Landed just short, and looks like it kind of ran up to the middle of the green. So mishit that one, but still decently forgiving. Did what I wanted to do, a nice big draw, and yeah, pretty good. Out here on the same hole as that 4 iron, and you can see I've got 2 clubs out. We've got about 130 yards here, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to hit a stock pitching wedge, and then I'm going to try to flight a 9 iron and just see what happens. So my stock pitching wedge should go decently straight here. Okay, so that was pretty good, maybe 10, 15 feet. Feel maybe a touch firm. I don't know if that's the coating or the club itself, but we'll go to this 9 iron. Remember, I'm going to try to flight this a little bit. That one is pretty good too. Sit. Just over the green, but still pretty good. That one felt a little bit better. The first one felt a little bit firm. Again, I don't know if that's golf ball, maybe the finish, the coating. But so far as results, pretty good. Feel maybe a touch firmer than what I was expecting. So now we are out here on the 4th hole, and we got about 170 yards. What I'm going to try to do is sort of hit a little fade here, and then go and hit a little bit draw on the second shot. So we'll start with the fade and see what I can do. All right, faded pretty nicely. That's right at it. All right, that's probably about 10 feet. And now this second one. So the second one, I'm going to go ahead and try to draw this a little bit. Definitely drawing. Yeah, pretty good shot there. They move through the turf pretty well. As far as feel, again, still maybe a little bit firmer than I expected. I don't know if I'm catching them just a little bit low on the face, or it's this coating, or it's the club itself. But as far as turf interaction, pretty good, and not the lowest bounce of golf clubs, but I like how there's not a lot of camber on the sole of these irons. I don't like lots of camber. As far as workability, very good. I move those both ways with ease. And so, yeah, that's what we got so far. We have got about 185, 187 yard par 3 here. Back pin, I'm going to be trying to hit this toward the middle of the green. Just sort of a stock 6 iron for me. That is right at it. Just a little right of it. Yeah, and that's a really good shot right there. Again, turf interaction, really, really good. That one felt a little bit softer, and I think it's because I didn't catch it low on the face. I think some of the other ones, I might have been catching just a touch low. That one felt great and moved through the turf really well. Did exactly what I wanted it to as far as ball flight. Really, really good right there. People, what we've got here is about a 198-yard shot. This is going to be a 5 iron for me. Remember, they don't offer these 0317s in a CB past the 4 iron. So if you're going to want these, you're going to have to be using a blade 5 iron. So I'm going to try to go ahead and give you guys some feedback as far as forgiveness. All right, that was mishit. Still went, let's see. Yep, still went a decent ways. So that one, not really super well struck, but goes to show that they are still pretty forgiving. So another one. All right, so both of those not very well struck iron shots, but still ended up in a good spot, middle of the green. Goes to show that although these are blades, they are actually, they're decently forgiving. I've mishit a couple shots out here, and that tends to be the result I'm seeing. They'll come up a little bit short, as you would expect a blade to do, but they're not way offline, they're not way short. So for a blade, these are actually a decently forgiving option. I'm pretty impressed as far as forgiveness goes. So what we've got here, guys, is around 155 yards. This is going to be a pretty stock 8 iron for me, and I'm going to be looking to hit it about 15 feet left of the hole here. Oh, I pushed that. Pushed it kind of right at it. All right, that's going to miss a little bit right. That's on me there. Actually felt pretty good. Didn't feel very firm at all. So I think I got that one a little bit higher on the face. Let's go for one more. That one's exactly where I wanted to hit it. So I think what those 2 shots demonstrate is these irons are for the better player. You know, you can't be missing these all over the face. You can't have really bad face angle control issues and expect to be hitting them exactly where you want to. That being said, they do give you the control as far as distance. You can see on both those shots, they went the right distance, but as far as, you know, missing it left or right, you definitely need to have a decent amount of face control to play a blade like this. All right, so now we are in a fairway bunker, and I'm going to go ahead and hit a 6 iron for you and just see how this thing performs. If it's enough, it's kind of right at it. Go! Yeah, about 15, 20 feet. What I really like about these is when you're in a fairway bunker, these do have a fair amount of bounce on them for a blade, but they don't have tons of camber. I don't like camber on my soles, but I'm not opposed to having a little bit more bounce, which makes it easier on these fairway bunker shots. They're not going to dig as easily. So as you can see right there, pretty nice out of a fairway bunker. Last thing I want to go ahead and do for you guys is hit a shot out of the rough, see how it comes out. Is it going to come out jumpy at all? These are blades, so it shouldn't, but let's go ahead and see. Kind of a jumpy lie. See, nope, middle of the green, and that's what you would expect from a blade. You don't want to see the ball coming out hot out of the rough. You don't want to see it jumping. That's the consistency you're going to get from a blade like this. As you can see, about 30 feet or so from 180 yards, not bad at all. All right, guys, we are back from the golf course, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to break these irons down into a bunch of different categories. I'm going to try to give you my honest opinion on pretty much everything I can think of you would be looking for in an iron. Then I'm going to rate them on a score of 0 through 10, and that should be a video. So let's go ahead and start with looks. As far as looks go, I really, really like the look of these 0317 ST milled irons. Obviously, it's going to be subjective. Some people aren't going to love the look. Some people are going to really, really like the look. Me, personally, I really, really like the look. I think the milled backing is phenomenal. I think the milled face is a really nice touch. Love the look of the dress. Very minimal offset in the short clubs, moving into a little bit more of a balanced offset in the CBs. Everything about these, to me, looks really, really clean. I think these could easily pass for a $2,000 to $2,500 set of irons. They just look very high quality, and in my opinion, I really, really do love the look of the 0317s. As far as feel goes with the 0317 ST milled irons, in my opinion, these are probably not the softest blades I've ever played. I don't know if that's the finish, if that's the steel on the head, if it's where I was catching it on the face, but just probably not the softest irons I've ever played. So if soft is something that you really, really prioritize, you might not love the feel. What I can tell you is when you do hit them good, when you hit them out of the center, they feel really, really nice. But if you start to miss them at all, while the forgiveness is still pretty decent, the feel kind of drops off. So as far as feel goes, probably a little bit firmer than I was expecting. As far as workability goes, these 0317s are pretty much exactly what you would expect from a blade. You can fade it, you can draw it, you can flight it, hit it high, hit it low, pretty much anything you want to be able to do. That's what these are going to offer you, and that's exactly why you would play a blade, and I'm glad to see that the workability aspect is definitely there. As far as design goes, I absolutely love the design of these irons. The blade length is absolutely perfect. The soles are awesome. They go through the turf really, really well. There's not a lot of camber, but there's still enough bounce for players to use these in soft conditions, out of bunkers. They work really, really well from a sole perspective. And then the other thing I absolutely love is the weight in the middle of the head. Having a weight in the middle of the head is going to position the CG a little bit closer to the center. It's going to make the club feel a little bit more solid out of the center. And then the other thing that is absolutely awesome with these is you're not going to have to use lead tape. You're not going to have to use tip weights. You're going to be able to just change out the weight to dial in your swing weight or MOI balancing. Absolutely awesome and super, super small, but really nice aspect on these golf clubs that I think is just a great design element. As far as forgiveness goes, this is actually a very decently forgiving set of irons. Now, that's not to say that if you're somebody who really struggles with ball striking, this is going to be a good set of clubs for you. But if you're somebody who is a better player, wants to move into blades, but is just a little bit intimidated by playing a blade, this might be a really good set of clubs to look into. As far as mishitting them, they don't come up way short. They don't end up way offline. They're actually very decently forgiving. And again, when you have a little bit more bounce on the soles as well, you can get away with digging into the ground a lot and still catching these in the right spot on the face. You're not going to chunk them as easily. So from a design perspective, from my forgiveness perspective, I actually really think this is a very decently forgiving set of clubs. And also, don't let me forget to mention the fact that you're going to have CBs in the 3 and 4 iron in this set. So if you're really scared about playing a blade all the way down to the 5 iron, these come standard with a CB 3 and 4 iron. And so from that perspective, even more forgiveness in those longer clubs, which I think is a nice touch. As far as distance goes, these go pretty much about as far as you would expect. My Wilson 7 iron goes probably around 173 yards carry. This one's around 175, 176. But the 7 iron on these PXGs are also a degree stronger than my Wilsons, so if you matched up the lofts, I bet they would go the exact same distance. And so as far as a distance perspective, they're going to go as far as pretty much any other blade on the market. The only thing you need to look out for is the lofts. If you're playing a 36-degree blade, and this is the 33-degree blade, obviously this one's going to go a little bit further. It's going to have a little bit less spin. But if you match these lofts to the blades you're currently playing or to the irons you're currently playing, I can't really see them being much different as far as distance goes. As far as durability goes, I know I'm going to get asked this question in the comments, so I figured I would just go ahead and answer it for you guys. How is the durability of the Extreme Dark Finish? Well, I'll go ahead and put a couple of videos up for you guys on how these have been wearing over the course of the past couple of weeks that I've been using them. They are certainly going to wear. As you hit shots in the face, the coating is going to start to come off. That being said, if you're somebody who's really concerned about durability, I would just highly recommend going with the brushed chrome finish instead. But if you're somebody who really likes the look of black golf clubs, these look absolutely sick at a dress, sitting in your bag. They're a really clean, really good looking set of golf clubs. So I'm really a big fan of the Extreme Dark Finish. And to be honest with you, if I was going to play these, I would probably go with the black finish because it does look sick. So you heard me talk about all of those different things. What do I rate these PXGs on a scale of 0 through 10? I'm going to give the 0317 STs a 9.4 out of 10. I really, truly believe they are a great set of irons. I would put them up there with any other blade on the market. I really, really enjoyed my time using them. That being said, what are the small things that are keeping these from being rated even higher? First of all, feel. Now, I will give the irons this. If you hit them out of the center, if you catch them in the right spot, they do feel nice, they do feel decently soft, but as you start to miss them just a little bit low, a little bit heel, a little bit toe, that softness drops off pretty significantly. The other two things that are really holding these irons back for me are the lofts and then the club configuration. So the lofts on these irons are pretty standard throughout the entire set, except the 8 and 7 iron. The pitching wedge is 46, 9 iron 42, 8 iron drops to 37, which is a 5-degree gap. Then the 7 iron drops to 33, which is a 4-degree gap. Then the 6 iron drops to 30, which is a 3-degree gap. I play 46, 42, 38, 34, 30, 26, 23 on my irons. I don't really understand why the 7 iron isn't 34 degrees and why the 8 iron isn't 38 degrees. It doesn't really make sense to me, and I figured if I ask PXG, they'll probably say it has something to do with the engineering, which maybe it does, but to me it just doesn't really make sense. And so most people might also be saying, hey, why don't you just go ahead and bend them to the right lofts for you to play them? When you bend clubs, you're going to mess with the offset, you're going to mess with the bounce, and I really like the bounce and offset on these golf clubs. And so to me, I don't really want to have to do that. I'm not sure why they just couldn't have made the 7 iron 34 degrees and the 8 iron 38 degrees. To me, that just doesn't really make sense. The other thing that doesn't really make sense to me about these irons is why they don't offer a CB in the 5, 6, and 7 iron. Now, I play blades 5-3 pitching wedge, so it's not really something that affects me, but I know there's people out there that won't play these because they don't want to play a blade in the 5, 6, and 7 iron. They want to play a CB. So it just doesn't really make sense to me why they don't at least offer it. And then vice versa, why they don't offer a blade in the 3 and 4 iron. Now, PXG's statement to why they don't offer a blade in the 3 and 4 iron is essentially most people are not good enough to hit a blade 3 and 4 iron. They will not hit them high enough, and so it doesn't really make sense from a manufacturing standpoint. I sort of get that, but at the same time, again, there's people on the opposite side of the spectrum that wouldn't play these because they would want to play them in a blade 3 and 4 iron. So aside from those couple of things, I really, really like these irons. They pretty much tick every box for me, and I could easily see myself playing a set if they just managed to get that 8 and 7 iron standard at 38 and 34 degrees. That's literally probably the only thing that is holding me back from playing these irons. But yeah, a really, really great set of irons. I want to thank PXG for sending these to us. Really, really appreciate them working with us and supporting what we're doing. So yeah, guys, that is a review. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to give it a like. If you have any questions at all, drop a comment and I will do my best to answer. Make sure you subscribe to the YouTube and also make sure you're following us on our other socials, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and TikTok. Guys, we will catch you in the next video. Peace.